I'm Mark Crivelli with GutterUniversity.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to hang a piece of gutter. We've torn off the old gutter. We're down to the fascia. This is the fascia. This is the drip edge. This is the eave shingles, and this is the soffit underneath once again. So what we're going to be doing is taking this piece of gutter, which is relatively short, so I can hang it by myself. A word on how long the pieces should be for a single man to hang them. A good gutter installer can hang a piece up to about 40 feet by himself. Anything longer than that, you really need to get more men. I've hung a piece that was more than 110 feet long, and it took 5 men to hang it. So just make sure you have enough help, because when you ruin a piece of 60-foot piece of gutter, it's expensive. So what we're going to do here is just tack this gutter first. We're going to slip it under the drip edge, and in this case the roofers have installed it looks like a 1.5 by 1 inch drip edge here. That's not very standard these days. It's typically 2 by 2 drip edge. So and it's typically tight against the fascia. So you have to literally work it underneath of the drip edge, but you need it to be under the drip edge in order for this to be a watertight seal. So what we do is we get it up where we think we want it, and we take 1.5 inch neoprene 1/4 inch screw with wood threads on it. It's important that it has wood threads and not metal threads. Put it on our bit, and we just screw through the back. And for a short piece like this, that's enough for it to stay there. But we're going to need this to slope, obviously, if the water is going to run out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the ladder over there. I'm going to get the high side, the outlet and the downside are on this side. So I'm going to get the high side all the way up. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so on this side, actually, before I do that, this piece is relatively straightforward because it butts up to the rake right there. This is rake, angled pieces like this of roof line. This is relatively straightforward, so I can just butt it up to the rake. But on other pieces, like this piece next to it, it matters where you put it. So you're going to want to get down off the ladder and look to make sure that it's in the place you want it. If it's not, pull the screw, move it, get down, check until you get it where you want it. So since this is the high side, I'm going to lift it, get it past this rake metal here. Gutter like this can take a little bit of a beating. You can beat these into position, and oftentimes you'll run into a situation where there's nails in the fascia that are slightly out, and in that case you can take your flat bar, put it behind the gutter, and pop it past the nail while you're pushing up. They can really be frustrating, but that's really the only way to do it. So this side is all the way up right now, so tack it here. Now we'll go back to the middle. First we can, before we do that, we can take our level, put it in the back of the gutter, tight against the back. If it's because the gutter's not hangered here, it's hanging down. So if you have the level off like this, it's not going to give you a reading that's correct. So tight against the back, and we see we have plenty of slope here, and we're almost all the way up because there's another layer of shingles underneath here, if you can see that. So that's going to limit how much movement we have here. But we have plenty of slope on this piece of gutter here, and so I can go to the far side now and get that side up and check the slope. It's once we have it tacked here, it's relatively easy to adjust our slope. We can put our level in first and play with it till we get it exactly where we want it. Now at this point, we have what looks like slope all the way along, but it's still important to look down the bottom of the gutter, the back side in particular, because if you are caught on a fascia nail, somewhere on the fascia, somewhere on the decking or shingles, you can sometimes see it bubbling, and you need to change that or you're going to have standing water there. So at this point, looks good. We're in the right spot for this hanging spout. We can start hangering. Let me come back to the middle to do that. So when we ran out the piece, we marked with pencil every 2 feet. So this makes a very straightforward hanger this at this point. These are regular steel hangers with no lip on the back. Some hangers have a lip that slips over the back that you can put in before you hang the piece of gutter. Those are insanely difficult to hang. So these just hook underneath the top lip, drop them down, and we screw it in. Now, you want these hangers to be flat. You don't want it too low, otherwise the hole is in the back, and if it fills with ice, the water can get in there. If it's too high, the water can run down the hanger and pond underneath here and start to rust. So we want them to be perfectly flat, or as close as we can get them. Also, we want to be sure that we're hitting wood. So we want this to tighten down nicely. If it doesn't, if it starts to strip out, pull it and put it in a new hole until it bites. Otherwise, your gutter's going to be hanging by nothing. And then we just hang the entire piece. We can do that from the roof or from a ladder. It's often safer from a ladder, but in some cases, if you have shrubs or trees, you have to do it from the roof, and some roof cut pieces you have to do from the roof. But other than that, this piece is ready to hanger.